Good morning, good morning. Another morning walk, another day. Grateful to have woken up. No matter how I woke up, it is perfect. And just grateful to be able to speak into the camera, still be able to walk, see, hear, smell, taste, everything that God has given me the pleasure to do. And more than anything, grateful for the process, doing things that initially when I started, was suffering, was mental and physical. But once you understand that the habits, lifestyle that I show here and promote, the 0.1% lifestyle, that should get you closer to what you don't see, the eternal, not closer to the temporary, things of the flesh, things that come quickly and go faster. It's what you don't see. The eternal, which is what you don't see with the eyes of this world, but the eyes that when you do see, cannot unsee. And you begin to understand that everything that most people go for, like I did at one point, the girls, the money, the trips, the material things, those things are all temporary. Those things, you'll have a chance to experiment your time here. No one knows how long they'll be here. People think or expect 80 years and, I have time, They kind of lose themselves in pleasure and think they have time to recuperate because they're owed 80 years or they're expecting 80 years. Only God knows how long you're supposed to be here or what your mission is here, your purpose is. If it's to live 60 years, 40. I always thought I was owed the next day. So I simply lost myself in more and more pleasure and didn't actually appreciate the day that was given to me. Now when I wake up, I'm more grateful than ever. And honestly, the only thing I look for is the next day. Being able to wake up the next day, however God wants me to, because it's perfect. You want to control all aspects. I think the way you wake up, or allow the way you wake up to dictate how your day goes. If you wake up in pain or sick or sore or whatever it is, underslept, realize that when you connect yourself and align yourself with the person that's always watching you and looking out for you, then realize that the way you wake up is perfect to your situation and what you need to grow. Only He sees what will make you grow, not you. You think your mind, or you think you're smart enough to know. Society makes you believe you know the next steps or what needs to be done. The how or the what needs to happen is never in your control. It's never going to be in your control how it happens or what you need to do to get to where you want. But it's only God knowing what's in your heart, knowing if it's a good desire or simply a desire from the devil, something just for your ego to show other people or value yourself to other people, usually being external things, material, something of status to show other people, then those are desires of the devil, the one below, and those won't be granted to you if you live this way and obey. If you have desires of the heart that will give faith to other people and are desires that actually will make you grow, then He will give those to you when you're ready. And that's why I wake up now and only seek what's eternal. I don't seek anymore the things that are temporary that I used to rely on so much, that I thought were the most real, the validation of other people, what people thought of me, the women I was showing to the world that I was with, the lifestyle. I thought that was the most real when I was doing it, and I thought that that would last forever and that would be with me forever. But when you're in that lifestyle of temporary and wanting things fast, those things leave faster. Those experiences, women you think you had something with, or some kind of experience with, you'll see years down the line, months down the line, they disappear. They're not there because most society simply uses each other for the flesh, for the temporary, for something they think is theirs, but it's actually rented to them. Our whole job here and what we're here to do is experiment the spirit we've been given to us. Not the pleasures and the desires and the vices, the alcohol, the drugs, and how many parties you can go to, and how many festivals, how many women you can sleep with, and all these temporary things that you've been programmed to focus on. What is eternal is the kingdom you don't see. And you've been given the Spirit, whether you believe it or not, that has been hardened by many, by their ego, and them thinking they know the answer. Them allowing the devil, which is through your ego, to make you believe that you know or need to know where he's going to go, what the next step is. They need to control everything, that everything has to be in order, that you're in a rush and need. I stopped relying on my timing and what my mind and my ego, thought it needed at whatever time, because, like I said, you don't see the growth you need. When you look back, you see that if you got what you wanted at that time, it would have destroyed you. And only God sees that. But when you want things fast, you're in a rush, like I did for many years, it simply means that you're not grateful, that whatever you have now needs to be experimented more, needs to be appreciated more, so you can get that thing you want, external thing. But actually what you want is internal growth. Because with anything external, if you don't have peace with it, you haven't actually grown. You haven't reached the next level. And as much as you want to show the world and society, growth externally, when you feel like I did, that the world needs to see the next thing I got, or the next girl I was with, or whatever experience, it means you haven't reached any level. When you don't desire or are okay with what you have, don't desire the next thing, are actually fully experimenting and living the present you have, then by consequence, I've always received the next thing. Whether it's a relationship I was maybe looking for and got, material thing, money, whatever it is, it didn't change my life at all as much as I thought it would, but internally it gave me a different perspective. And that is why I know that internally building that and working on that and focus on the internal is all that matters. The external always comes as a consequence. You don't have to focus on getting something externally and thinking that's... When I used to focus so much on the next thing and doing things for the world and what they thought, I never actually grew. Until now, until this moment, where I began to do things simply for my growth, for how to be able to kill my own ego and let my spirit come out, which is the path for all of us. And what I realized I needed most is when I actually began to grow, when I actually began to let go of what I thought I needed and thinking it was something external. I thought it was money for the longest time, or a certain type of girl, or a certain type of experience or country to live in. But it's all removing that programming the society gives you to realize that it's all within you. The answers are always within you. It's not somewhere external. You have to wait for something to happen so you can feel a certain way. You can wake up and feel the way you want to. When you remove that dependency that you give how you feel within to something external. Like I said, for a long time, it was women. Recently, it was another country I thought I had to be in. Oh, if I live in this country or that country, then I'll feel better or whatever it is. But until I felt good where I was, because the saying goes, wherever you go, there you are. If you don't feel good where you are at this moment, then no matter where you go, whether it's the best place on earth, with the best climate, and with the best thing you're looking for, you'll be there for a bit, you'll get a little bit of a high, but then you'll go back to normal, being ungrateful, not seeing what you have in front of you, not seeing the blessings, and that will be your default. So your default, which the way you're operating now, will have to be changed in order for you to grow. So that's why lust and adding more things with women is not going to change the way you operate. If you think you need it now, you're going to keep thinking you need it. You keep thinking you need it 5 years down the line. When I started, I thought I simply needed more women. When I had all the women and all the experiences I wanted, and God gave me someone to have a relationship with, I still wanted more women. So it's not you getting what you think you need that's going to change the way you operate. It's you right now realizing that the way you operate is shit. and you depend on the world to tell you how to feel, or this girl, or the experience with this girl to tell you how you should feel, or you need permission to feel a certain way. And when you realize that all the permission you need is from yourself, and the work you have to do internally, whether forgiving past wounds, forgiving yourself for something you've done, all these internal things that people don't want to do, especially men, that is when you can actually grow and attract in peace, and not in anxiety and fear and doubt and when's the next thing coming, and then make this money now and have this lifestyle now and this girlfriend now, or these girls around me now, so the world can see who I've become. You live for the world. I lived for the world for so long, and I realized it's not the way. What's the point of living for the world if when you get everything you think the world reacts to or will applaud you for or validate you for, if that makes you dead inside, if that removes your spirit and you actually have no peace and are simply doubting yourself more and more and have lost who you actually are. Who you are as a person is the most important thing, and the way to uncover that is not adding more lust for things, women, lifestyle, whatever you think you need. It's removing, having the faith and the courage to remove when the world tells you to add and tells you, oh, what new thing are you doing, or what's this new thing you've done, or the new accomplishment, or the new car you've bought or house or whatever it is, whatever external thing. Stop letting what other people focus on, which is 90% of the world is the external, dictate what you focus on. I now focus on my habits, the process, how I feel, and that is it. I don't focus on the results or this or that or what I'm gonna get out of it and like the transaction and how do I do this so I can get this, and then what's the method to getting what I want. It's learning to live in abundance, give abundantly, knowing that the spirit you live in is eternal and is constantly able to give love, abundance, joy, peace, and it's no longer needing something external to live by or lean on or validate yourself with. That's all weakness. Strength comes from within. It's not something that you get externally so you can give yourself permission to feel a certain way. I lived that way for so long and told myself that the more validation I got, the more people saw me with more girls when I didn't have them in the past, and I was a late bloomer. I thought when I had the girls years ago, people would see what I had become. But only the ego tricks you into thinking you're this person. People only see the world the way they are. So what you want people to focus on will never be what they see, because they only see what they are lacking or what they think they need, because the world is simply a mirror and not a window. So you can never control people's perspective or what they think as much as you think, but only focusing and removing that lack within yourself that makes you think you need the validation of others. That is what lust does to you. You think that when people see you, that when people saw me with this or that, or this lifestyle, that they would finally see. But you only attract people that have the same lack as you do. You only attract what you are. So that is why I continue to focus on the things that people don't see, the internal. And I know that with time, I have faith and I live for the eternal, not the temporary, working for external things. I know it will come, whatever I seek or desire. But at this moment, like I said, I only want the process. I want to be able to talk into this camera, wake up, give faith, record videos, shoot content, and get people closer to what helped me and saved me from the path that I was going on, which was simply just darkness and living for the devil. So I will help people get out of that place I was in, because like I said, I coach people on the skill. I coach them on the skill of meeting women. When I was lost in that, I could have coached many others and kept getting requests of people to show them what I had learned. But my ego and thinking that they would take what I had built, or if I taught them, that I would have less of women or whatever it was, that simply showed me now that I reflect back that I was operating in fear. And the frequency is the only thing that matters of how you operate, not the external. So you can change your frequency, work on your frequency, and change the way you operate, which will change that frequency as well with the work, the habits, the process, and not anything else of external things you think you're missing to change that. The frequency is all that matters. So the sooner you stop believing that the way you want to feel is in another experience with another girl, whether you're with one girl right now and want two more, and you think, when I have 3 girls in a rotation, or I'm doing this with this amount of girls, then I can feel the way I want to. Realize that the way you feel now with what you have now will simply transport when you have everything you think you need. So the way you operate can be changed for whatever you have now, appreciating what you have, not feeling you're in lack or needing the next thing. And when that happens, then you'll be blessed with the next thing. So it's all internal work, 24/7, allowing yourself, sacrificing, suffering, and also enjoying, because suffering brings you closer to the eternal and what matters most. So God bless, enjoy your day, and let's go.